All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speaking of Zane, where we're in the business of speaking his name so that he is not forgotten. Even though his life was brief, 26 years, they say a person dies twice, once when they take their last breath, and then again when their name's no longer spoken. And when we lost him over 9 years ago, we just couldn't bear the idea that he'd be forgotten. And so we started doing this live stream every Sunday night. Most Sunday nights, we've missed a few here and there, but it's been a friggin' long time. What are we, 312th week that we've done this? So we got a few of these under our belt, but we're in the business, like I mentioned, of making sure that he's not forgotten. And we talk about other things along the way. So good to have you all in here. You guys have been awesome. I've mentioned many times that this is my therapy. I don't have a therapist. I don't know if anybody's equipped for that role, but this is my therapy. Get an opportunity to talk about him, to share about him, not only him but his big brother Tyler. And speaking of Tyler, this is really agonizing Lori, and rightly so. But we have Tyler's ashes in our living room or dining room, and we need to put him to rest somewhere. And Lori's working on it. We're working on it to try to find a place here that's close that we could visit regularly. But it seems like the right thing to do to put him to rest. And so anyway, stick with us on this one. Well, let's see who we've got in here. Daryl's in here. Hey, Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Good to have you in there. I saw you were doing a little bit of manual labor. You and your, I think your son-in-law, rebuilding a fence, I think, on your property there. So good on you. There's Carl Kihas in there. Hey, Carl, how you doing, buddy? From Warsaw, Missouri. Jimbo Miller's in there from Omaha, Nebraska. Lori is in there, right here under the same roof. And my buddy Doc Collier's in there. Hey, Doc, how you doing, pal? Up in Nashville. I saw you guys had a nice little trip to Memphis. Lori and I went to Memphis, didn't we? When was it, Lori? Last fall, I guess, for my our niece's wedding, Ashley. And I really enjoyed Memphis. It's a very interesting town. So anyway, JT, I saw that you and your family visited, and congratulations on your new gig. I see that. Thanks for sharing that with me. I was excited about you landing that, and excited about you contributing mightily to your new employer there. I look forward to following that. Love to sync up with you sometime and catch up. Brenda Lusk is in there up in Michigan. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Lori and I are going to get a chance to meet you, I hope, in summer of 2026 when we come to Michigan for the Running to Honor 5K. That'll be a lot of fun for sure. Let's see, who am I missing here? Nobody, everybody's in there. Awesome. Well, let's see. We've had an absolutely beautiful day here in the Atlanta metro. We're about 40 miles north of downtown, I guess, but just absolutely beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. Almost 80 degrees today, and really nice out. Our little grandson Everett, Lori actually. This is the benefits of Lori being a full-time Grammy. She's able to come and go as she's needed. And she went and spent a couple of days at Hannah's house and to look after Everett, because Lori had, or Hannah had something in court or something for her job. She's a social worker. So Lori drove over to their place, about an hour drive on the other side of Atlanta. And Lori went over there and spent a couple of days with them and looked to get Everett on and off the bus and that sort of thing. And she brought him home with her, and he always enjoys coming to visit. And so he spent a couple of nights here. We had a sleepover Friday night and Saturday night, and then he went home today. His mom and her husband Colleen drove over and came and got him. And but always fun with. He's an 8-year-old, and he's very cerebral, very smart kid, and always fun to spend time with him. He's got a little sister on her way in May, which will be our 13th grandchild. That'll be our 7th biological, and we have 6 that we inherited through marriage. They all call us Grammy and Granddaddy. So yeah, it's exciting to have a baby on the way. And Hannah came over today. She's protruding very nicely, and so it'll be good to see their baby. I'm sure she'll let us share photos of the baby eventually when she arrives. What is the month of May? See, that's a good month because if I look at my calendar here on the wall, most of the month of May I'm home. I have to go to St. Louis maybe that third week for a couple of days, but it'll all work out. Well, let's see. I got a nice, I mentioned it was nice out. So I got a nice, well, hey, Newsley, how you doing? Good to have you in there. I was just telling Brenda Lusk that we're going to get a chance to meet her when we come to Michigan in the summer of 2026, and perhaps we'll get a chance to meet you. We're coming up for the Running to Honor 5K in July of 2026, and it's going to be a nice gathering there. We're looking forward to that. Well, let's see, what was I talking about? The weather, yeah. So I got a nice 3-mile walk in today through the neighborhood. The bees are out, the bugs are out, and but it's nice. I'll take it. No humidity, and it looks like our pollen season. We have a pretty severe pollen season. Usually lasts about 2 weeks, where all the pine trees pollinate, and that yellow dust gets on everything. And it's been a little bit, but it's not been severe, and I'm hoping it'll be a very quick and easy one, but didn't give me any trouble today. But I did take the opportunity to wash Lori's new car in the dry. I didn't wash it. I just rinsed it off. It's still waxed very nicely from the dealer, but I got a chance to get all the pollen and everything off. And it was nice out today, so took, took the opportunity to do that. Also, any March Madness freaks out there? I've been watching because me and my current class at work, we've got a pool going, and there's about a dozen of us, and not everybody was into it, but about a dozen of us decided to do the brackets. And happy to say, with Alabama's win just now, I'm in second place in our group of 12. And now there's two more games tonight, so I'll be watching those. But I've been watching basketball since about noon today, off and on. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Let's see what else is going on here. So Ken's not going to be with us tonight. He reached out to me though to give me a report. Ken and his wife Janet are in Texas visiting their son, who's having back surgery this week. So keep their son in your prayers this week. I don't know how long Ken's going to be out there, but fortunately, Ken's retired and he's got a lot of flexibility, and they were able to run out there and give them a hand. And then I'll be going to St. Louis this week. Tuesday, I'll be leaving Tuesday afternoon, coming home Friday afternoon. Hadn't been in a little while, probably hadn't been in 6 or 7 weeks. So got a quick visit, a lot of things to accomplish while I'm there, a lot of things going on with the program that I run. And I'm excited to get up there and then get back Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon. And we do have a birthday coming up. Lori will put in the chat on the exact date, because you know what? I don't know any of the grandchildren's actual birth dates. That's what I have Lori for. And she'll tell you that our first grandson, Zane's son, Colton, his name is Colton Pierce McDonald. He was our first grandson, and he's Zane's son, and he's got a birthday this week, and he'll be 13 years old. 13 years old. It just seems like yesterday I was holding him like this. But he is getting real curious about his dad. You know, he was only 4 when his dad passed, and you've probably seen the pictures of him sitting on the front row there with me and Lori and Abby at Zane's funeral. But he's getting real curious about his dad, and we haven't forced anything, and we're very 3. Yeah, Lori's right, 3. You know, we're very sensitive to it. I mean, he's got a new dad that's awesome. His new dad is Will, and that's the only dad he's really known. Will's in the Navy, great guy. But he also knows he has a dad called Zane, and I think he remembers a little bit about Zane, and he certainly knows about Zane and knows the circumstances. But he's getting more curious, as you might imagine, and he's taken an interest in the guitar, like Zane. He's taken an interest in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like Zane. And Abby's been great, encouraging it, and Will has been great. And so I'm excited to, over the coming years of his life, sharing more and more about his dad with him. And I have some things for him of his dad's to give him eventually. And yeah, it's just, remember Lori and I were, we were probably, I think we were still in our 40s when we became grandparents, and now he's 13. But now his little sister Paisley, who's Zane's daughter, Paisley, was just a baby when Zane passed. Paisley has had some trouble and has had a trach for most of her life. And bless her heart, she's such a trooper, smartest little girl, so compassionate, and she's just so awesome. She has this trach, and she's had to learn over the course of her life. She's had to deal with this trach and cleaning it and all this stuff, and she's getting some more surgery. She's had several surgeries over her life. She's, what is she, Lori? 9 or 10, and they live in Maine. I mentioned Will's in the Navy, and but she's having another surgery to help with this, and she's had several of them this past week in Boston, and of course Abigail is down there with her while Will is up with the boys, and so anyway, keep her in your thoughts, and Lori will go up there as needed, at spur of the moment if she's needed to help them. But Lori's or Abby's mother is also very flexible and is able to travel very easily. So between the two Grammys, they'll make sure that Abby has everything she needs. But yeah, she's such a precious little girl, Paisley, and just a strong little girl. So hopefully maybe Lori will get to go up there and spend some time. Depends on their Abby's mother and everything. So, all right. Well, let's see what else we got going here. So we moved. So I'll go to St. Louis this week for a few days, home for a week, then off to Vegas for a week, and then home for a week. And then Lori and I are going to take some time off. I've told my team, I said, hey, you guys got it this whole week of April 21st. And we are checked out that week. And April 21st, we're going to drive up to Kentucky, do some Bourbon Trail stuff, and then go to our reunion at the Air Force, near the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. I think we'll get there on the 24th and spend the weekend there. So that'll be a lot of fun to do that. Looking forward to the drive. Cousin Toby's in there, and his mom, my Aunt Mary, is in there. Hey, y'all, down in South Georgia. Good to have you in there. So that'll be a lot of fun. Hat of the week always has something to do with what the heck is going on around here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. And I haven't worn this hat in a while. Now, you guys know last week I wore my United Airlines hat in tribute to my daughter, Charlotte, because United Airlines was the first American airline back into Tel Aviv since last July. And my daughter's a big part of that. She's a global threat analyst, geopolitical analyst for United, and she's the one that advises them on those kinds of things. So it's been pretty much her life for the last 8 or 9 months. And because of that, United was able to get back into Tel Aviv. And then don't you know that as soon as I got there, the Houthis and Hamas started lobbing more. She said there was a rocket that landed about 1,000 meters from the crew's hotel. So anyway, she's dealing with so much of that stuff. But anyway, I'm so proud of her. Last week I honored her because of that and United Airlines with the United Airlines hat. But she got her start at the FBI, and the FBI is a large part of the reason she's doing what she's doing today. And she interacts a lot with the FBI in her capacity. And so I decided today the hat of the week would be my FBI Academy hat that Charlotte got for me when she graduated from the FBI Academy. So hats off to you, Charlotte. Keep up the good work. She's going to be 30 years old, Lori, in June. And every year for the last 5 or so, she and I have done a daddy-daughter trip. So we're going to do a daddy-daughter trip this year. And I think we're going to Sweden. So that'll be fun. And I think Lori's going to meet her in Scotland. I'm going to go on to London. There's a very intricate, complicated sort of travel arrangement that's going to be occurring for the month of July. We'll see how everything plays out, but it sounds a lot of fun. I know we'll be exhausted and ready to get back home in the month of August, but stick with us and we'll share all of that with you. All right. Well, let's see. I only have one item on the This Week in Military History, and that actually, that's a date that hasn't even happened yet. It's March the 25th, 2025. That's on Tuesday. That's the official opening of the National Medal of Honor Museum, and it's in Arlington, Texas, which is near Dallas. And the reason I know about that is because our friend Amy Walton and Sam Morgan, who I flew with in the Air Force, they went to the grand opening, which was, I think, yesterday, either Friday night or Saturday night. I don't remember. But Amy flew down from Omaha to Texas, and Sam and his wife met her there, and they went for the grand opening. Well, why? Why did they do that? Well, because Sam's father is a Medal of Honor recipient and has a display at the National Medal of Honor Museum. Hang on, I think I have a picture here. Let me share. But what an amazing thing. It's an amazing story. If you get a chance, just Google. There's a Wikipedia page, or you can go to the National Medal of Honor Museum website and you can search for John Morgan and you'll see the account of his heroism. It's just a fascinating story. I'll share the picture with you here real quick. There we go. Hopefully you see that. That's his father, John. His nickname was Red, John Red Morgan. Now he started out in the Royal Canadian Air Force, transferred to the American Air Force, was a co-pilot on B-17 bombers in England. And you can go read the account. It's fascinating. But on the way back from a bomb run, the pilot in command was shot in the head. And Sam's dad flew the plane back. The rest of the crew passed out due to lack of oxygen. And Sam's dad flew the plane all the way back to England, and everybody was saved. And just an incredible account of that. Yeah, John Red Morgan. You can go search on that. But so many cool stories, especially from World War II, especially from the Air War. Just ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. It's just incredible. I love reading it. In fact, my friend, I often talk about my friend called Jeff. Jeff is the one that sends me beef jerky. And he sent me, I've shared this with you, he sent me this book called A Higher Call. You may recall that story, but he sent me this book a few weeks ago. And well, what do you know? In the mail this week, I get another book from him. And this book is called Devotion. It's another war story, another factual account. He knows I eat this stuff up. And anyway, just so many examples of heroism from ordinary Americans. Just an incredible thing. But anyway, yeah, if you get a chance, and if you're ever, now I have a reason to go, Lori. Now we have a reason to go to Dallas, is to go to the National Medal of Honor Museum. Now, there is what is it called? Now I've got to find it here. There's a National Medal of Honor Heritage Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So Lori and I have been there. It's near the if you've ever been in Chattanooga and you've been to the what is it, Lori? The aquarium, right next to the aquarium is the National Medal of Honor Heritage Center. It's a fascinating place too. So there's two places in the country now that are devoted to chronicling and heralding Medal of Honor recipients. So if you're in Chattanooga, go to the National Medal of Honor Heritage Center. If you're in Dallas, go to the National Medal of Honor Museum. But you can't go tomorrow because it doesn't open till Tuesday. So there you go. All right. Well, let's see. Let me get back to my notes here. I thought this was going to be a short one here, but I'm rambling a little bit tonight, but that's okay. All right. Well, let's see. We had some veteran cemetery visits. Speaking of Amy and Sam, while they were in Dallas for the Medal of Honor Museum, they visited the Dallas Fort Worth National Cemetery. That may be new. That may be a new one for us. I don't know that anybody has been yet to the Dallas Fort Worth National Cemetery. I've not been, so I'm going to check that out and see if it's a new one for us. So Amy and Sam, thank you for that. And then I always count my dad and my sis because they visit my mom at Evergreen. And then Daryl, I know that Daryl had a visit to Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery this week. So if I add up the visits that I know about, that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 visits. And I'm going to say that makes 196 different cemeteries. And then that puts our count at 1,431. But we have some late breaking news here. So my sister is on a road trip with my dad. By the way, my dad is 80 years old and is in better shape than I am. And they are on a road trip, it looks like, to New Mexico. I don't know why. I don't know what's in New Mexico, but they are on their way there. Looks like they're in Oklahoma. And okay, looks like they might have stopped at a couple today. Okay, look, I'm sure Dad, when Dad gets an opportunity to get online, he'll update where those two locations were. I'll add those. I'll probably wait and add those next week, and so I can have the names of them. But that's awesome. So if I add up the ones I know about, 7 visits this week, 1,431 visits since we started doing this. That might be 1,431 that would never have occurred had we not started doing this, kind of as a tribute to Zane. So that's pretty good in my book. All right, sis, thanks. All right. Well, how about the Think a Vet Challenge? This is one of my favorite things, is to interact with other veterans, interact with first responders, interact with active duty service members. I do that occasionally when I'm through the airports, and Lori does it a lot when she's at the post office and Wally World and other places. Okay, Daryl's adding some late breaking Think a Vet updates here. Okay, so what is that? What's the total there, Daryl? 3? Army vet and Navy vet. Okay, so we'll say 3 for Daryl. I'll increase my count by 3. Good. All right. Thank you, Daryl. So Daryl's also hyper in tune. Daryl's usually wearing his SAC hat, so he catches attention from fellow veterans when he's out and about, and he does a good job there, as does my dad. And Ken mentioned Ken is out in Texas looking after his son. Ken shared that he had 7 thank yous this week. So we've got Ken with 7, Daryl with 3. And then I had 2 thank yous this week. I met a couple of guys at work One, it was an Air Force vet. So I had a good chat with him. And then there was another that's an Army vet. Uh, so Luke was Air Force, Kevin was Army, and now Lori's jumping in there with 3 and 2. So three Navy, 2 Air Force, getting our numbers up there. So that'll be, I'll add 5 to that, which will make 17, add 5 to that. So our running total, since we started doing this, I've told the story several times. Lori and I, we took a trip out to Texas A&M when our daughter Charlotte was going to school there. And on the way back, I think it was this, we flew this trip. On the way back, saw a Vietnam veteran in the airport and just said thank you. And then decided, that'd be kind of cool to do that and track them. And 3,366 veterans later, here we are. So thank you guys for playing along with us there. We appreciate that. Hey, you don't have to be stalking veterans and hunting veterans, but in your everyday life, you're going to come across some veterans, right? At the post office, at the store, at work, at school. And you might as well tell them that you appreciate what they've done for the country. They certainly deserve it. Yeah, certainly deserve it. I get more and more thank yous all the time, and I appreciate it. And I know that some people have never heard, thank you. And if I'm the first one to tell someone thank you, that's kind of cool. But anyway, it's not that I think it's not that we feel like we did anything extraordinary, but I look at everyone that was willing to step up, raise their hand, put it all on the line. I'm like, that's worth some acknowledgement. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why we do that. So thank you guys for doing that along with us, and it's been fun to track. I mean, we're at 3,366, so certainly we'll get to the 4,000 mark this year. That'll be kind of fun to be able to say that. All right. I don't have anything really new in the organizational portion of the live stream. In this portion, we always talk about organizations or groups that do good work on behalf of veterans or military members or whatever the case may be. And, it might be an organization that we're involved in, that we know about, that we contribute to, or that you guys know about. And we just share what's going on with them. So nothing really new to report, except I mentioned last week that we will be going in the month of May. We will be going down to Tampa, though, sometime in the month of May. We'll have to make sure it's not when our granddaughter's being born, to do some things at my Warriors Place. So stay tuned for that. All right. Well, I think that might be it for now. Like I mentioned, I'll be heading to St. Louis. I always interact with a lot of veterans when I'm on the road. So next week, next Sunday night, perhaps I'll have some more to update there. But appreciate you guys riding along with us tonight. If you see a veteran out there, be sure to say thanks. I remember Lori and I got a chance to see Gary Sinise, and you remember Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. He said, service is a great healer. If you have a broken heart, help someone else, and then your whole life will be different. I guess I kind of believe I still have a broken heart. Lori still has a broken heart, but it does help to serve others. It doesn't take away the pain, but it certainly is a healing component to it. So I do believe that for sure. But yeah, Thank a veteran, check on your friends. Ronald Reagan said very famously, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time, I think, if you think about it. Individually, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. And there's power in that, um, for sure. Absolutely. All right, team. We'll look forward to seeing you all next Sunday night. Have a great week. Make it count. And we'll look forward to next week. Take care, everybody. Cheers.